Would it be more Tottenham than to lose to Crystal Palace in the Premier League last weekend and then come back with 2 games in a week, knocking Manchester City out of the Carabao Cup and then going on to thrash Aston Villa at home when they had the chance to go third in the table? It was a 4-1 win in the end for Ange Postecoglou's side. A brilliant second half performance from everyone involved. It was such a weird game because Tottenham lost a few boys to injury. Christian Romero hobbled off. Richarlison had to go off as well, despite coming on in the second half. Sonny was taken off. I think that was something that was probably premeditated, and they just didn't want to risk him having played him for the West Ham game and then his injury flaring back up. So I can understand in hindsight why that happened, but ultimately Ange gave him a kick up the backside at half-time again, and we came out and we blew them away in the second half. In casual Tottenham style, we go 1-0 down. I think in the 14 home games we've had, or whatever it is in 2024, we've gone behind in 12 of them, which is an absolutely insane stat. Conceding the first goal in 12 of those 14 games is just ridiculous. And look, the game was such a weird one. Aston Villa came to sit deep, hit us on the counter-attack, play for their set pieces. I think that's just the way they play. They want to wind the fans up, seeing Martinez time wasting for the entire game, and then Maddison making him look like an absolute fool for that fourth goal. But we go 1-0 down in typical Tottenham fashion. We have conceded the second most set-piece goals since the start of the 2023-24 season, and we went behind from that again. The one sort of irk that I have with how the game went is we just don't ever seem to have someone protecting Vicario. I don't actually think the goal that Villa scored today was Vicario's fault. I think that he actually made a really good initial save. I think it was Pedro Porro actually flicked on the header towards his own goal, and then it comes off Bentancur's shoulder. Looks like it's going in. Vicario gets down really well and saves it, and then Udogi's maybe sleeping a little bit and lets Morgan Rogers just prod it into an empty net. But for me, we have to start putting a player in front of Vicario, because the players that we're coming up against, they've always got someone on Vicario, always on him, and I just don't think he's capable of looking after himself in those situations. So we need to start putting someone between that player and Vicario, and it just gives him more protection, it gives him more freedom and probably more confidence as well. But we go 1-0 down. However, we do manage to bring it back to 1-1 before half-time. Brennan Johnson getting the goal. Obviously, I took him out of my Fantasy Premier League this week, so naturally he was always going to score in the game. Brilliant ball from Heung-min Son. And I know I mentioned it was 1-1 before half-time. It wasn't. It was 1-0 down at half-time, obviously. But early in the second half, we get it back to 1-1. Heung-min Son, oh, wow. What a ball across the face of goal that was. Absolutely immaculate on his left foot. I was going to say his weaker foot, but we know by now that Heung-min Son does not have a weak foot. He simply does not have a weak foot. And he puts it on a plate for Brennan Johnson, who gets the right side, I think, of Luca Digne, or Luca Digne on that left back position, puts it into the net, and then we're in the ascendancy. We're on the up. We're back in the game, and I think really from there, it only looked like it was going to be one winner. Romero comes off, Ben Davies comes on, Dragusin shifts into his natural right centre-back position. Ben Davies fits in really, really well, and I actually think he won the ball back really well for the second goal. Destiny Udogie played his socks off today, but we get back into the game, and then we push on into the ascendancy. Dominic Solanke getting his third goal initially of the season for Tottenham. A really, really good goal scorer's finish. Just a nice little tap in for him. It was really, really great. And then I think it's 4 minutes later, we make it 3-1. Solanke again, Richarlison, who was the man who had to come on and have a big performance, replacing Son, puts it on a plate for Solanke to put it in the back of the net. Unfortunately, he injures, I think it looked like his quad doing that. But I think actually in that left wing position, he looked okay. And he put it on a plate for Solanke, make it 3-1. And at that point, the game's almost over with 10 minutes to go. But then you get 10 minutes added on at the end of the game, and we're probably all sitting here thinking, oh, God, here we go, 10 minutes. They've brought on John Duran, who always scores after coming off on the bench. But we managed to actually go on and get the fourth James Maddison. Probably a bit of a bee in his bonnet. Didn't play in the game against Man City in midweek and didn't come on to the last 10 minutes of this one. Has to prove why he should be in the starting 11. Kulusevski's outperforming him at the moment. Madders came on and he did really well. Worked really hard, and a brilliantly crafted free kick to make it 4-1 at the death. Just hitting it as soon as the referee blows his whistle, catching Martinez off guard while he's not really set in goal, and curling it around the wall, making it 4-1. And it's a big 3 points, because if we'd have lost today, we could have potentially, I'm recording this straight after the game, so the Man United-Chelsea game hasn't been, but if Man United win today and we'd have lost, they would have gone above us in the table. They were only 2 points behind us, which is, you know, it's pretty crazy to me, considering how poor they were when we played them at Old Trafford, how poor they had been under Ten Hag so far this season. So to get that win, I think we lift ourselves up to 7th now in the table, 2 points off the top 4. It's not that bad. Obviously, we need to get through the next 2 games before the international break, Ipswich and Galatasaray. I wouldn't be surprised to see a ton of changes for that Galatasaray game in midweek. And then Ipswich is really one that we have to be winning regardless as who's available, and go into the international break in a rich vein of form, confidence flying, and then kick on going into that busy Christmas period in the second half of November. So, you know, there were some outstanding individual performances today, and man of the match for me today was Pat Matar. I have to talk about Pat Matar. What a performance, because we can play 2 ways under Andrew. We can play with the 2 attacking midfielders in Maddison and Kulusevski, or we can play with the 2 holding with 1 in front, which is what we did today. Bentancur and Kulusevski with Pat Matar in there as well. And I think it did give us more balance. I think it's a difficult one, because in that first half, we were struggling to break them down. And I was sat there at half-time thinking, this game's calling out for James Maddison. And I couldn't really decide who I would have taken off between Bentancur and Pat Matar, but I'm actually glad he left it as he did, because Pat Matar, especially in that second half, he just took control of the game. He looked up for it, he looked fresh, he looked eager, he was just all over the pitch. And yeah, in the end, it was just really, really an impressive performance from him, and I'm so happy for him. And I think there were a couple of other really good performances. Dominic Solanke, I'm so happy for Dominic Solanke. He puts in so much work off the ball. Like you can't, it's so difficult to comprehend how much work he actually puts in off the ball. And he got his reward with his 2 goals today. It was great value for it. I think it's 4 goals in 8 games now. For his first season at Tottenham, it's not too bad. We'll take it. He's in my fantasy team, so a nice haul of points for me there. Really, really good to see. Although I did have Morgan Rogers on the bench, so yeah, a bit of a loss there, but I couldn't really have any Villa players against Tottenham when I'm wanting us to win, of course. But yeah, really good. Destiny Udogie, absolutely immense in my opinion today. He just adds so much for us going forward. He's a willing runner who will get in behind and drags defenders away, and it just creates space for us in the middle. So yeah, in my opinion, it looks like we're finally starting to come together as a team. I know that Palace performance was really, really poor, and we are struggling a bit in away games at the moment. But some of the performances we have put in have been really, really excellent. We've only lost at home this season to Arsenal, in a game where we never really turned up. So we just need to sort that away form out, in my opinion, and then we'll go from there. But we're up into 7th. It's been a brilliant, brilliant weekend if you're a Tottenham fan, obviously with the Arsenal result, the West Ham result. What else happened? Just Man City lose it. It just crazy weekend of results. And yeah, now everybody can sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of it and know that, yeah, Tottenham put in a really good performance and picked up 3 hugely important points. But I'll be back again during the week, I'm sure, for some more Tottenham-related content. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as well. We're trying to get on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I want to get there. I want to try and get there in the next few months if possible. So if you could be as kind as to hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. And yeah, that's it for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, come on, you Spurs.